See, that's what was playing. It'll probably be a couple seconds delayed over here. Okay. It's never done that before.
No, it's coming.
There we go. Hello. Welcome to Celebrate Recovery Live. Is anybody live out there?
Looks like there's 3 connections.
3 connections.
Ow, ow!
Ow, ow.
Who's connected?
Who's connected? Come and say hi if you want to. This is a live format, so we're not... why is it repeating itself?
No, it's delayed.
Everybody's probably seen this.
I think it repeated itself. Okay.
It's delayed a little bit on this one.
Oh. Okay. So we're going to go back over here.
Don't click out of it.
Okay, this is YouTube, and we want to be on that. That's what we want to be on. There.
Boom.
I did it again, guys.
This one's live.
Magic.
All right. But it's not showing up over here.
No, you're getting chats though. Kara. The Mike and Sherry show. Kara says it's Mike and Sherry show.
Hi, Kara.
No, it's the
Hi,
Mike,
Tammy.
Lucas, and Sherry show tonight.
That's right.
So we've got
Special guest.
special guest.
Okay. So why don't you ask the audience? I'm working on tech, so why don't you ask the audience and to ask Lucas what he's been doing this week?
What have you been doing this week?
That was a great question, Mike. This week I've been, working. I drove Pocatello, got a new van for my business, which is super exciting.
Nice.
It was a 18-hour drive. Yeah, it was a long drive.
Ooh, back and forth.
Yeah, 9 hours down, 9 hours back, but made it back in one piece. How about you, Mike? I saw you have a deck out there. You been working on that?
Working on the deck. Yep. You could almost see it from here. But
Yeah.
That's a great question, Mike.
Okay. And see, we got 1 minute to spare because we really start at 7, but it's 6:59.
okay. Well,
Only
now we
took
have
4
7
minutes.
people watching too, so we should probably
Hello,
get
people.
our.
We got Tammy and we got Kara and Lori Wyman. Happy Friday.
Yay!
Woo woo!
And you've
Lucas
noticed
is your
that
special
our
guest.
special
Yes.
guest, Lucas.
Lucas in the house.
There you
Yes.
go.
And if you haven't seen it yet, how would they find that ad on you? Is it on Facebook?
Yeah, Artisan Electric on my Facebook. Check it out. Me playing a guitar.
No, that's on Twitter.
Oh.
Oh, it's on
No.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Instaface.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Artisan. ARTIZAN.
Artisan Electric.
This episode of CR is brought to you by Artisan Electric.
I have to tell you that Natasha's son has been running around his house going, and I'd like to advertise Sprite. I want to be like Mike.
So we've created a marketer. Hey, that kid's gonna go into marketing, you know. And that's
I
great.
guess he did it with water, but he was trying to bribe his mom with Sprite. He goes, I'd really like to do it with Sprite, though, Mom.
That's great. That's great. So Christy, hello,
Hi,
happy
Christy.
Friday.
Christy.
And Kayla. Hello, Kayla. All right.
Good to see you guys here. It's awesome.
Yes.
People plugged in.
I've been walking around town and doing...
You're trying to raise money for ARMS.
I'm trying to raise money for Abuse Recovery Ministry Services and advertise my Her Journey class, which is available to women who are either in or coming out of domestic abuse. And so I've been doing a virtual walk, which I've never heard of such a thing before, but a virtual walk is where you can walk any place, anytime for 3 weeks and you get your miles covered. So I'm at something like, 70, 80 miles
Wow.
so far.
Nice.
So
Well, when we log my miles, we'll have to see how much I've got.
yes. So yeah, I am trying to do 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. And for just myself. But it actually logs all of my steps, which is how I got so many
okay.
miles. So
I've logged a lot of virtual miles on Call of Duty lately. I don't know if that counts toward anything.
That does not count towards anything.
Okay.
Oh man, that should count towards something.
No.
I mean, racking up how many Nazis you killed. I mean, that's gotta count for something,
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
doesn't
Nothing.
Well, it was a good thought. It was virtual. We had that
it?
in common.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get this party started.
Okay.
And if you are new to us, hi, Jeff and George. It's good to see you
Jeff,
guys.
George.
Hello. Where was I? I was going to say, if Celebrate Recovery. It's the part of the leadership team of Celebrate Recovery. A lot of our leadership team is on chat right now. And we run Celebrate Recovery here in Moscow, which is a recovery group for anything that you want to recover from, whether it's drugs or alcohol, or whether it's codependency, or anxiety, or food issues, or financial, sexual. It doesn't matter. If you're struggling, we are here to support you. And during this pandemic time is a real stressor for people to relapse. So we're going to be talking again tonight about relapse. And hopefully we'll get some conversation going.
Yeah.
But
that sounds
first,
great.
we're gonna just read the 8 principles that we use at Celebrate Recovery, and Lucas and Mike are gonna read those.
We're not going to start with announcements. No.
I thought I'd mix it up because
Okay, cool.
I'll think of the announcements
All
while
right.
you guys read.
All right. Sounds good.
Right.
I'll do the first part and you do the verse.
We're doing.
Oh wait. Are we doing the 12 steps?
12 steps. Oh,
No.
do the 12 steps.
Where are they? Oh, they're
Right
there.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
We're organized.
Again, not a place of perfection.
Yeah.
I'll do the first part and you do the verse.
Sounds good.
Okay, number 1, we admitted we were powerless over our addictions and compulsive behaviors, that our lives had become unmanageable.
I know that nothing good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature, for I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. Romans 7:18.
We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. Philippians 2:13.
Number 3, we made a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God.
Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Romans 12:1.
Number 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
Let us examine our ways and test them, and let us return to the Lord. Lamentations 3:40.
Number 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs.
James 5:16 says, "Therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed."
Number 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character.
Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. James 4:10.
Number 7, we humbly asked Him to remove all our shortcomings.
If we confess our sins, he is faithful and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. 1 John 1:9.
Number 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all.
Do to others as you would have them do to you. Luke 6:31.
Number 9, we made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others.
Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First, go be reconciled with your brother, then come and offer your gift. Matthew 5:23-24.
Number 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it.
Corinthians 10:12 says, "So if you think you are standing firm, be careful you don't fall."
Number 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, praying only for knowledge of His will and power to carry that out.
Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Colossians 3:16.
And number 12, Having had a spiritual experience as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to others and practice these principles in all our affairs.
Brothers, if someone is caught in a sin, you who are spiritual should restore them gently, but watch yourself, or you may be tempted. Galatians 6:1.
You know, when I first started coming to recovery, these 12 steps, it was really kind of surprising to me that there were biblical comparisons to the 12 steps, because I was told that the 12 steps is secular and there's, there's no Christianity in it at all. And we found that it's all based on the Bible, actually.
Yeah, actually, the guy that started AA, from which these come, was a believer, and so it's it depends on what group you go to too, because sometimes they are more focused on
Sure.
Jesus, but it's become kind of general in terms of your higher power. So
Okay, I do have a couple of announcements. One is there's a leadership meeting this Sunday, and you know who you are and you know who you're supposed to be, but I'm just reminding you to be there because you are who you are. And so this Sunday, be there, be square. And the second announcement is we are making plans right now of moving back into the church. It probably won't be till June, but we're making plans. We're excited. We're excited about a good direction of going. And so it's not going to be too much longer. And I just want to keep your hope up. We are going to be getting back together again. And it won't be that
Hallelujah.
long. Yeah.
and let me someone just texted you they can't find the link.
Okay.
So
I'll go
we're
get my
gonna
phone
find
and
it.
text them.
So another good idea, though, in the meantime, just want to encourage everyone, you can get together now with groups of up to 10. So I know last week, this isn't my idea, I think Jessica and her group got together at her house with a number of ladies,
Great.
and they were watching and together, and then being able to fellowship and
Hang
talk
out.
and hang out before and after and that sort of thing. So, want to encourage everyone to have some viewing parties or whatever, or get together for CR. Just can't get together as the whole large group yet, but hopefully that'll be coming soon. But in the meantime, we can get together with groups of up to 10. And then we'll log in, do the meeting together, and then have a discussion or whatever afterwards. So
Yeah, get some fellowship. And
Yeah.
I mean, a big part of CR is accountability and just being around those other people that positively influence you. It's a great way to stay connected and live out kind of what CR is about before we can actually get back in and meet again in the church.
Yep, definitely. So what
Okay.
is next?
Chip party.
Oh, chip party. Okay.
Woo-woo.
So during chip party, we're having to do it virtually right now. We will, if you have some time and you record it here with us, then when we get together again, we will give you the physical chip. So, and we've been kind of celebrating all the times during our coronavirus online experiences. And so if you have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 years, just go ahead and if you feel comfortable with it, you can type it into the chat and let us know, and we can virtually celebrate with you. And then when we get together here, hopefully in the next few weeks, we can hook you up with,
Some actual chips.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And real hugs. Well, maybe we're not going to be able to hug right away.
Air
That's a
hug.
bummer.
Air hug.
Air hug.
Elbow hug.
Elbow.
Boom.
Something. I don't
Okay.
know.
Are we,
Okay.
did you help them out with the link?
I did. I
Good.
tried to anyway.
Okay, all
Let's
right.
see if he makes it on.
We'll see if somebody, okay, well. Technical difficulties,
Okay, I
it's
don't
always
see
a
anybody celebrating any time.
challenge. I don't see anybody celebrating any time either, but we are having chip party right now. So
That's right. Do you guys have any time?
Do.
I get a 6-year chip at the beginning of next month.
Nice.
Oh, that counts.
Coming
Yeah.
up.
Woo, woo.
Coming up.
6 years.
Yeah. It'll be-
Yeah.
Life can change a whole lot in 6 years.
Yeah.
It can change a whole lot in a year
Yeah.
if you're working
Definitely.
recovery,
Definitely.
right? Okay, well, I don't think we have any time out
No
there
time.
tonight. We got 31 subscribers. Oh, wait a minute, that's
No.
we got 15,
15,
watching now.
15.
Hi, 15 people.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you've just logged on and you want to say hi into the chat, just say hi and
Christy
Jessica!
Ecker has
Christy!
19 days.
Woo-hoo!
Woohoo! Hey, Jessica Garcia is there with her whole
with their whole group. See,
her whole group. Oh,
Jessica,
wow.
I don't know if you were on yet, but we were just advertising that you guys have started a new trend and that we should
Trending.
get together in groups
Of less than 10.
of up to 10, right?
Yeah.
Up to 10.
10 or less.
10 or less, and that you can do CR together, and then you could have fellowship and accountability and whatever else you feel like you need to do. So,
Yep.
and it could be up to 10 people. So, even though
Yeah.
we can't get together with everybody,
Jeff says congratulations on your 6 years.
woo-hoo.
And
Found it.
Ellen joined us. So Shelly, Monty, Chris, and Jessica have all joined us over at Jessica's
Nice,
house.
nice.
So awesome.
See, they're having a CR viewing party.
A
That's
watch
right.
party. Woo, woo.
Yeah,
Ooh. Okay.
we've had to come up with new language and stuff for this.
Yeah.
This
Adapt.
whole coronavirus thing.
Adapting is
Yeah.
hard, but it's good.
Did you hear about, and we're all also getting used to being online and doing Zoom
Yeah.
and doing YouTube and stuff. Did you hear what happened last week with the flush heard round the world?
I did not hear about the flush heard.
So
railroad.
apparently-
Do tell.
The Supreme Court has been doing stuff online, and they were doing verbal arguments last week, and this lawyer was arguing his position, when all of a sudden you heard this very distinct and loud flushing of a toilet in the background. And so the dude just didn't even, the guy that was the lawyer that was talking, he didn't even phase him. He just kept, making his point. But everyone was like, dude, was that a toilet? So there was an article entitled "The Flush Heard Round the World."
Oh dear.
So yeah, make sure you're muted if you got to go to the bathroom. Just
Yeah.
that's my first tip.
Necessary precautions.
Yeah, for Zoom meetings. Yeah, make sure.
So John Jackshaw has 29 days journaling. That's pretty
Wow,
good.
that's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
don't know that I've ever gone 29 consecutive days journaling. Jessica Garcia. Oh, Denise is there at their house.
Nice.
Denise.
And Jessica had taco salad with her group tonight.
Taco salad. See, that's another thing you can do. Get together as a group before CR and have dinner together.
That's right.
What a great idea.
Staying
In
6
fact,
feet apart.
we should have thought of that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, not a bit. We could have ribeye or something.
Actually, we could have ate ribeye steaks, for barbecue. Oh, wait a minute. I think we just did.
And an amazing spinach salad.
Yeah.
And
New-
an
new
amazing
favorite
spinach salad.
New
Yeah,
favorites. You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
try it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Congratulations on everybody's time, Ellen says. Yes. All right. Good job, guys. Keep up the work. The good
Yes.
work.
Yes.
This is a good time in when things are a little bit slower to actually contemplate and think about why did you relapse the last time and how could I avoid that the next time and what do I need to put into my life to gird me up and to so I don't do that again, right?
Yeah.
What walls do I need to build so that I can be?
We're gonna talk
safe.
about relapse tonight.
That's right.
So what's next?
So, I think we should ask everybody what's going good in your lives right now.
Oh, a question.
Yeah. What is going good?
What is a good thing?
Get the
that's
positive
happening?
vibes rolling here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's just positive.
Positive party.
That's right.
Positive party.
What's good? What's good in your life, Lucas?
Well, the gym opens up tomorrow, which is
Nice.
great. Finally get back in the gym. I've been working
No
out
way.
at home, which has just been non-existent, really. So, but gyms are opening up. Super excited about that. How about you, Mike?
Well, I've just been, working out on my deck, so it actually you use your muscles a lot when you're screwing, into the board.
It sounds like you're
And-
trying to
and-
talk me into helping you with your deck. I don't think it's gonna work, man.
And when you take when you put the, it's just a lot of work, man. You got to do the saw, and you got to measure.
But the
you
deck's
gotta-
looking good.
Yeah, it's
The
looking
deck
really.
is looking really good.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
So,
that's been going good.
Yeah, so
Sherry,
that's been going good.
Yeah.
Sherry, you got some positive?
What has been going good? I have been exercising. I've been very consistent at exercising, so
Yes,
I'm feeling,
that's
and
good.
eating well.
That's really good.
Changing my diet around to being healthier, and I am solving the mystery of my health issues. So I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
And Lori Wyman is closing on her home Monday.
Wow, that's a
The
big
move went
deal.
smooth. Nice.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yes, the gym. Happy Denise. Denise is happy that the gym is open.
I'll see you there, Denise.
Yeah, Denise. Woo.
And Christy Ecker, something good equals peace and rest in God. That is good when we can find that, right?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, and I won't. I'll mention it during the lesson, but I've had to. Yeah, no, that's exactly that.
Yeah. I think for me also the sun being out and the longer days is good. That is really
Oh man, when we got up into like
Hallelujah.
72 or 74
Oh.
last week, that was the
So
bomb.
happy.
I was just like, yes.
And last weekend Mike and I planted gardens and
Yep.
we worked outside almost all weekend long and it was just heaven.
Yeah, it was glorious, and it's supposed to be 66 tomorrow,
Nice.
and it's going to be nice. So, getting outside is definitely the plan.
That's
T-shirt
right.
weather. All about the t-shirt weather.
That's
Yep.
right.
Love that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's move on. We are going to be talking about relapse tonight. So, what you got, Lucas?
Well, I think the biggest thing when it comes to relapse is, they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And, for me, this, I'm not even impervious to relapse. I used to chew back in the day and I started chewing again in this quarantine. I've been sitting at home playing video games. I began to chew again. And it's like, here I am, leadership team. And I, even I am not impervious to relapse. But, I think is admitting that we will be tempted, and how do we deal with temptation?
Yeah, because anybody can relapse anytime, right? And I think that's one of the things we need to not do is start thinking that, oh well, I'm beyond that. I got my 5-year coin or 6-year coin or 10-year coin, and then you kind of let your guard down.
Yeah. What do you do with people who are like, see, I can handle it. I've not done my thing for 30 days. So, what do you tell them?
Well, it's easy to get complacent, and a lot of times that's when you start hearing the voice of, well, you've earned it. You can. This calls for a celebration. I know a lot of times, when I was trying to quit drinking, it was always like, well, one beer won't hurt. Tonight we'll only
I
just
could
drink one
celebrate.
beer.
But we can always come up with a justification to have another drink.
Right.
Oh, I don't feel good, man. I need to have a drink.
I feel great.
Oh, I feel great. Well, I need to have a
Yeah,
drink.
right.
Yeah. So this is a little bit delayed, but I want to. We're gonna just take a second here and celebrate with Ellen. She's been partially furloughed, but have worked every day so far.
Nice.
So that's good. Work is a really good thing right now. And Shelley, the Shimmers flood fence building prayers and praise. So they're
Yay, all
building a
right.
flood fence. That's important. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Very cool.
All right.
A piece of scripture here that I think is really spot on is the spirit is willing but the body is weak. Mark 14:38.
Yes.
And I know, I always get my spirit always really strong. I'm always wanting to conquer, get in the gym, running, doing everything, trying to just be He-Man. But at the end of the day, when I get I do all those things, I get beat down. That's when my flesh is weak. I could still just I'm still not free from temptation, so to say.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the old thinking patterns that might try to resurface, particularly when we're tired
Mhm.
or other things. So we'll get more to that later. But yeah, it can.
And I think everybody's pattern is different, right?
Right.
So you have to kind of know your own pattern. What
Sure.
what triggers me? Is it loneliness? Is it anger? Is it failure? What's triggering me to wanting that relief?
Yeah, and that's one of the things about Celebrate Recovery and being in recovery, walking with the Lord, is we learn about Him, but it also, in the process, we're learning about ourselves too. So we're learning more about these kind of things. What is some of my tendencies, and we learn to see patterns. Like I started thinking about this morning, just like on another physical thing. I noticed that I think we're going into hay fever season pretty soon because I noticed my breathing, and I'm like, okay, trying to remember back to last year. Was it the same time last year or whatever, But we start noticing these patterns, and God gives us insight into things that may come up over and over again. So, anyways.
I think it's important to note that temptation itself is not a sin,
Right.
Oh, yes, that's a good
but
point.
it is definitely an opportunity
Yes.
for sin. And the devil weaponizes temptation and targets our weaknesses. And this is the spiritual battle for our souls, essentially. And this is it's at times like this where we literally need to call in the troops. When you get people around us that are strong and help us fight this battle. I really think that's what CR does.
Yeah.
It's
Good accountability.
for sure. And so I think an important thing is to always be evaluating our spiritual, physical, emotional, and relational health.
Mm-hmm.
I know one time when I was teaching, I shared the story. I had stomach flu, and I was like, man, I was just so sick. I was married to the toilet, and I was like, people had said, oh, I slept by the toilet, and I was like, why did you sleep? Why didn't you sleep in your bed? Well, it's because you can't. 'Cause you're just like you got to puke like the whole time.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, man, if I could just have some weed right now, I wouldn't be so nauseous. I'd feel so much better. And it's things like my physical health right there could instantly contribute to a relapse. Just a lapse in judgment, poor decision making, given the situation.
Mm-hmm. Pain will often cause people to relapse.
Come up with a special justification.
Yeah.
Well, just this situation because what's going on.
Right. I mean, like if you struggle with opiates, and you break your arm and you go into the doctor, you're definitely not going to be wanting, you're definitely going to make this known that, hey, I struggle with opiates. I'm definitely not going to want to get any strong painkillers because that could be, a definite issue.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, that's physical, emotional. You break up with your significant other, that could be a trigger right there.
Sure.
Yeah. No, we saw that happen last year with a friend of ours from CR that had that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of really, emotionally taxing things. I mean, really bring you down.
Yeah.
And
Set you up for relapse, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be honest in your assessment of especially like your emotional health. I think it's easy for us to, I know it's easy for me, if I have a problem with somebody, I don't like conflict, I'll just say, oh, it's not a big deal. But then all of a
kind of
sudden,
minimize it.
Yeah, but inside, I'm still hurting,
Yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, I'm keeping score with this person. Oh, this person hurt me, so it goes on, and you can really draw it out, and these things can become like you can have this emotional thing that should have been squashed in the beginning can carry on for years and just be emotionally toxic.
Yeah.
And that's really like what our inventory is about. Getting rid of these things that are just festering inside of us.
Yes.
Well, and so things from the past, but then also, let's do the hard thing. Also, things that just come up again, because I know that I had this happen earlier this week. Had a little conflict and found myself, having to deal with it, and it was kind of hard. And and I did this thing that we've talked about in CR before called a heart check, right? Asking myself, are you hurting, exhausted, angry, resentful, or tense, right? Heart. And and like one day in particular, it was in the evening, and I was kind of struggling with this, and I realized this came to the Lord brought this to my mind, and I was like, okay, yeah, I am exhausted right now. I'm a little angry. I'm a little resentful.
Check.
Yep. And I was like, and it was getting towards bedtime, and I was like, sometimes at night, or you have some conflict, or you have some issue, or whatever, and it's like my tendency is to want to have it to figure it out, right? To noodle it out, right? And sometimes I've learned through doing these kind of checks, like the heart check, is to go, you know what? I don't have to have it figured out. I just recognize it, like you're saying, evaluate. I recognized it that, hey, I am hurting, I'm exhausted, I'm a little angry. You know what? I'm not going to try to figure it out right now. I'm just going to, give this to God, and I'm going to go to bed.
But you acknowledged it. That's
Yeah, exactly. And well, it gave me permission to not have, to like not try to like grab on it like a dog with a bone, and have to, until I have it figured out, So, and then I was able to go to bed and, and just, pray about it the next day. So sometimes you don't have to have everything resolved in your own heart, from something.
Yeah.
So,
It's
anyways.
good.
Yeah, and it's all these things in the heart check really affect your decision making. You make poor decisions when you're hurting or exhausted, angry, resentful, tense.
Yeah.
So and it's good. We talk about it. Evaluate, and you always to notice these things. But the more focus you put on it, and the more you do it, the more you'll see it, and you can be like, all right, and then you can kind of see the things in your environment or what are causing these things, and help to like adapt your environment so that you're not subjected to these things as much.
Yeah, maybe even make changes if you need to.
Right. So I think another thing that's important is alone and quiet time. Take time to yourself, be with God. I know, Mike, you usually in the morning go for a walk.
Yep. No, I spend some time in the morning having some coffee and do, some quiet time. I do the prayer for freedom. But then I also take a walk with the dog and usually listen to some worship music. For a while there, I was doing Jeremy Camp. Right now I'm doing Elevation and Worship. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And an important thing is, say the body is willing, but the flesh is weak. And on one side, we want to listen to God and the Spirit, listen to God and hear His voice. And the more that we can be alone with God and hear His voice and recognize His voice, I think the more apt we are to follow it. But the flesh, if we're listening to the flesh, the voice of the flesh, that's not a path. That's going to be taking us off the path. That's not the direction we want to be headed. We always want to be trying to take steps toward the path. And, all these voices trying to pull us in all these different directions are really just a bunch of little decisions that lead us either toward or away from it. And if we take a lot of these little decisions or listen to those voices, we can get really off the path in a hurry, just in a matter of days if we're listening to the wrong voice. So I think that's important to be, with God and set some time alone with Him, be with Him, so that we can be, listen to Him and making decisions based on His advice.
Yeah, a new thing that I've been doing just this last few weeks. Like over the years, the last decade or so, I've been, whenever I'm going through really hard times, I usually, and this has been a difficult time with this coronavirus, and and so I found myself going, you know what, I need to start reading through the Psalms again. So right now I'm in about like Psalm 40 something right now, and I'll go through a few every day, And it's really cool because you can just kind of let your heart cry out, because a lot of the Psalms are just really powerful, in terms of, like David. A lot of them are written by David, and he's like, Lord, help me, Lord, deliver me, Lord, this is going on, I'm freaking out here, and so one of the new things I realized is that I can, on my Bible app, I can actually listen to it also. So I've been doing that. Just I've never gone through the Psalms listening to it. So I'm doing the where this dude's reading it.
Just a different way to soak
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah, and I'm
Hear
just
from a
sitting there
different
like-
voice, different perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's one of the things I'm doing right now.
Charmian says that it makes zero sense to celebrate doing well with doing the thing you have conquered. Well, and relapse really does make zero sense to everybody else,
Yes.
except for the
Yeah.
person who's relapsing, right?
Sure.
But and that's because it's an emotional. It's not cognitive, so it's not going to make sense. It's an emotional reaction to pain, and so
Nothing
Yeah.
logical about it.
nothing logical about it at all. She
Yeah.
says it is for freedom that Christ has set us free, not that we should stuck again by the time of slavery.
Yep.
Valuation 5-1, something like that. And Lori, I like this. What Lori Wyman says: acknowledge your victories, but choose your celebration.
Yeah.
That is really good. That is awesome.
That's a good word.
Chuck joined us, and Heart Check and Halt are good tools for me. Yes. Halt is another one that's,
Yeah.
I
I
forget
forget
that.
what HALT stands for.
yeah. Type
You
it
know
in the
Halt?
thing if you remember,
No.
Shelley.
I've never heard of Halt.
Yeah. Charmian has 1 year.
Woo woo!
Good job,
Awesome, Charmaine.
Share what that is, Mike. Who is this guy? I don't understand that, Shelley. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So
If you're late to the party, this is Lucas. All
welcome, guys.
right, keep going.
Yeah, prayer. I think prayer is another one. We talk about having a alone time in the morning, but just praying to God for protection and just to lead you on paths of righteousness. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of times I can go for days without praying. I'm like, wow, God, I'm sorry, I kind of checked out here, gone on my own. Just checking back in, talking with God, being close to
that's
God.
good.
I always feel a lot safer and further from a relapse if I'm doing that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found it's real helpful during the day just to it doesn't have to be some big long prayer, just to be talking to the Lord, like you're driving to work or you're doing something like, oh, that's pretty awesome, Lord. We'll check out that, flower tree, or you got some special wiring situation in front of you as just pretend you're an electrician,
Yeah.
You're like, Lord, what do I do with this? He's like,
Pray.
you should have studied harder in school. No. kidding.
So much Call of Duty, Lord.
I know.
Yes.
Okay. We got the halt is hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Yeah. So that's
So.
very much like
Yeah.
the heart check. Yeah, definitely.
I got a few notes here that I wrote down. Here's a good point is like after relapse. What if you do relapse?
Yeah.
I mean, what are some steps that you should be taking after
Should
that?
you just keep going down the wrong road?
Well, I mean, sometimes that actually is the thought process.
Yeah.
I know that particularly early on in my recovery, it's like my thinking pattern was, okay, well, if I'm going to blow it, I might as well get my money's worth.
Yeah.
That was my attitude.
Yeah,
Like-
that is the attitude.
I'm already blowing it, so I might as well blow it some more. Blow big, just,
Yup.
yeah. So, I don't know if that's...
How'd that work out for y'all?
Not good, not good.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Rock bottom and
Okay, so
hurting.
that's
Yeah.
not the good thinking
That's,
pattern.
don't, that's
So-
the bad thinking.
Okay, so what's the good thinking pattern?
Well, I would say that you need to confess, really. Accountability partner, sponsor, family member, somebody that you trust.
Right away.
You don't want to be talking to somebody that you don't trust, that you
Yeah.
can
Sure.
they can go and blabber about it and bring you down and kind of get you in a worse spot or something
Yeah.
like that.
Good
And I
point.
think that's where, shame is such an important element here. When somebody does confess to us, we don't want to bring shame at all into that picture, because shame is the number one emotion that will actually drive you to further relapse. And so when you relapse, Christ said, there is no more condemnation in Christ Jesus. And so the best thing to do is to lay the shame down and say, I've made a mistake. I don't want to keep going down that road, and turn back. And there's no shame in that. We're going to learn. The one good thing is you can learn from the error what went on before the relapse. Were you lonely, tired, hungry? Talk to your sponsor about those feelings, and that's going to equip you to not relapse again.
So what are those things that were leading up to that relapse?
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's true. But it's funny because sometimes I know in prior to even being involved with recovery, some of my thinking patterns, I guess, with regards to my relationship with God was like, whenever I blew it and then confessed it and repented, those are, felt bad about it. Those are some of the times where I felt closest to God. And so, there's almost like this, I'd gotten deceived into thinking that that's how, to blow it is then to get close to God. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so it becomes like this pattern of,
That's a
well,
dangerous
I might as well blow it because I feel distant from God anyways. And then when I confess and get right with Him, then I'll feel close to Him again. But it's just this kind of backward thinking.
That is really a good lie from the enemy, isn't it? Kind of makes sense if you're thinking backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should we engage the audience and ask them, like, what are some reasons that we hide it?
Yeah, let's do that. What are some reasons why you hide your relapses?
So if you have relapse,
Yeah.
or when you've relapsed in the past, what are some of the reasons you hide it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Got Shelley. She said there's no condemnation. Ellen said speak the truth in love. Yes,
Yes.
we need to do that. Kara, condemnation is from the enemy to separate us from God. Conviction is the tool of God to restore us to Himself. That's good.
Yes.
Jeff said, honestly, it has been a war.
Yes.
It is a war.
And it is a war.
Absolutely.
We're definitely in a war. We're actually, our lives really, if you think about it, we're part of a love story set in the context of a war.
Mm-hmm.
God is, loving us. We're learning to love Him and obey Him, but yet we're in the context of a war all around us.
Hey, we're getting lots of comments because people know this, right?
Experts.
Experts at this, right? Kara just said she meant to say that the enemy tries to keep us separated from God. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And then, so I think these are some of the answers to our question about what causes you to hide your relapse.
So shame.
Shame is
Number one. Yep. A reminder of our failures.
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't want to be reminded.
You're a loser. You've always been a loser. You'll always be a loser, right?
Yep.
Judgment from others.
Want to avoid judgment. Yeah.
Or even your perceived judgment from others.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They actually might not be judging you, but you know what they think
Feel
and
like
believe,
they are,
and
yeah.
so you feel it.
Yeah, and that just causes things to snowball on top of that.
Yeah.
All those negative emotions, feeling that judgment, and
Yeah.
trying to escape, numb it.
Jeff says
Yep.
acceptance, which I think he meant lack of acceptance, right?
Gotcha. You
Yeah.
want to have acceptance, so you
Yeah.
don't.
You
So
want
you
to
want to
have
hide it.
it. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that
you want
you
to
won't
accepted.
be rejected.
Yes, I get it.
Yep.
Don't want to let people down. Yeah, that's from Denise.
Yes.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Recognize your trigger points, admit it, and move on. Yep. And Ellen, I hide if I'm trying to be more like the happy, shiny person and see others pretending to be too. So,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all happy, aren't we?
Yeah. How you doing? Everything's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all reasons why we relapse.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger points. Yep.
Trinity. We're on YouTube here.
We're
You're
live,
snoring.
Trinity. Jeez.
She's snoring over there.
The nerve of this
I
dog,
know.
I
Come
tell
on.
you.
We're live. We're live, Trinity. No snoring. All right.
Too much ribeye for Trinity.
Yeah.
Monty says false humility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can definitely be an issue.
One thing for me, I like to hide it because it means I keep doing it. I can keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't have to, quite sober up yet. I'm gonna enjoy this for a little bit longer, but really,
Get your money's worth.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lie because it's really every time I've ever relapsed, I've always been like, it was, the devil sold me this great thing, like it was
Yeah.
gonna be so awesome, and then I relapsed, and I was like, yeah, this really isn't that great. I just gave
I've been
up
ripped
all-
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just wasn't even worth it. And then, I know there's this lyrics from Macklemore. I quote it in my my testimony. He says, "Feeling sick and helpless, lost the compass where self is. I know what I got to do, and I can't do it." Something along those lines. But it's just like the sick and helpless feeling. I remember when I hit rock bottom the last time. I wrote on a whiteboard. I wrote on a whiteboard the feelings I was feeling at the time, and I remember one of them was addiction is an emotional flu. And I just remember just feeling so like, if you could, just imagine an emotional flu and just being so sick on the inside, just like, heaving your guts up on the inside and just wanting to be free from it, but still walking down that wrong path.
Yeah.
And just really, I put that on a whiteboard. I put it on my wall. I remember there were some mattress guys came to change out my mattress from the mattress store, and they were all looking at it, reading it.
Like,
And I was
what
like,
the
you know
heck?
what? It's there for a good reason, so I ain't taking it down for you. But
That's great.
it got scuffed up and stuff. I took a picture of it. It's on my phone, never to be forgotten. And I think it's important to, like in moments where we're feeling really low, to try and remember that feeling, because those are the consequences right there. You will go back to that place, guaranteed. That is the sentence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Dave Kirkland, just real quick. So Dave Kirkland, he was involved in CR for many years. He gave his testimony at the Recovery-a-thon, and he always says, play the movie to the end or something like that.
That's good.
Play
the movie to the end. What is this trajectory?
Where is this really
gonna
going?
take me?
Where is it going?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Well, I think sometimes I see, if you haven't really made the decision to quit or to do what you want to do, if you're just toying with the decision, then that's, you're going to relapse. That's part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think for me also, not planning in my day. So I'm thinking especially with food issues. If I've had an extra long day, I didn't get dinner done with my plan. All of a sudden I have to go to plan B. Okay, well, let's just go to McDonald's, and it's plan B is totally out the window. So I need to have not only a plan, but I need to have plan B and maybe plan C.
yeah.
I would, every once in a while, I would like to hear you say, let's go to McDonald's. You have never said, let's go to McDonald's. Ever.
That's like plan D.
It's like plan Z, for sure. But,
That's because I can't actually stand McDonald's.
Yeah. It's more like, let's get Panda.
Yeah,
get real
and Panda's
estate.
not
Panda.
really on my
Panda.
food list thing right now.
But you
Yeah.
say Panda.
I
Okay.
was,
I just wanted to get real here, so people wouldn't think you were going to McDonald's.
I don't do
because
McDonald's.
she doesn't do McDonald's. I do McDonald's every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
But anyways,
Yeah.
we just want to be clear.
They say relationships are about compromise. I think Panda's a good compromise.
I think so.
It's all about honesty.
I was thinking, I know everybody, I know for me, when people say, well, what do you do to prevent relapse? I always have something to say. What's our audience got for some gold nuggets? What's your gold nugget for this is what I do to help when I'm feeling tempted?
That's good.
We can share those. I think that's
To
good for
prevent
other people.
relapse, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What do you do to prevent relapse? That's a
I
great
have
question.
my accountability people in my life.
Yeah, and you get together every week with them, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Being connected.
Yep.
Yeah.
Staying connected. Having a plan B.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say for me, my biggest thing is I could never I never got sober until I got serious about it and I started coming to CR.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, I mean, after a month of coming to CR, I just had a different, I had other people around me that had different expectations.
Yeah.
And so
People you surround yourself with.
that was huge for me. Still is
Yeah.
huge for me, even though we can't meet and it's killing me. But talk about confession. I had to come and tell you guys I've been chewing because I feel guilty about it. But,
And so, what led you to the chewing?
well, I mean, first off, I was dieting, and I was like, well, this would help me curb my hunger,
Mm.
And I was like, I've never really been into nicotine, so I don't think I'll get hooked. Well, it's just all these little lies that slowly led up to the fact that here I am at home with nothing to do, and I'm bored, and it just escalated. So
Yeah.
and
Boredom.
now I chew every day. So yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a pain to kick it, but
Christy says, go to accountability, me and 3. Yeah. Thankful list, prayer, Bible reading. Yeah, thankful list is really a good one, right? Sets our whole mind in a whole different perspective.
Yeah, just being thankful for as many things as you can be thankful for. And
Yeah.
there's a lot to be thankful for. Everybody, believe it or not, we have a lot to be thankful for, even during this time.
So Charmian says Galatians 5:1 encourages her. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by the yoke of slavery.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Realizing, and I think that what that says to me is that we start to realize what sort of freedom I do have, and I enjoy that, and I don't want to go back to this slavery over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guess what?
Oh my gosh, we're almost at 7:50.
Yeah, we got 1 minute.
Woo!
wow, time flies when you're having fun, huh?
It does.
Yeah, so
We were having fun.
any conclusions there, Big Lucas?
Well, I know some suggestions that I've learned in CR is that you should pray and read your Bible.
Yes.
Make attending recovery meetings a priority.
Glad to see you guys here.
Spend time with your friends, good friends, and family.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's really important. Is like for me, I always when I was out and using, I was disconnected from my family. I was hiding myself from that. I was sheltering. I didn't want them to see it. So just being connected with people that know you, and can see there's something wrong and not afraid to ask what's up. And then last but not least, it says get involved with service.
Yeah.
Service is great.
Thinking about outside yourself, thinking of other people. That's been one of the big things for me is just, like whenever I'm just totally focused on myself, it's usually, I'm
Selfish.
if it's just self-centered, self-oriented, it doesn't lead to good places.
Yeah, John Jackshaw says to have a good schedule. It helps him to keep him on track.
Yeah.
And that's important, right? Have purpose, have goals, have, a trajectory that you want. And that is
Yeah,
good.
and he mentions, I mean, like right now, like a lot of the things that maybe we were doing before on a regular basis, we can't do.
Yeah.
And so it makes it more difficult.
Yep. All right, we're going to say the Serenity Prayer together, guys.
Oh,
Let's see
okay,
if I can
okay.
do this. Like I don't have my glasses on.
It's down there. Recovery sign up, Project Hope. Oop,
Okay, can I do it? Because I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, I was trying to help.
Okay.
Just trying to help, man.
There we are.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
So you think people can see it right now?
I think so.
Okay. Well, hopefully they
Okay.
can.
All right.
Let's do it.
The full Serenity Prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. All right, peeps. It was great to see y'all,
Ow!
and it was great to have Lucas.
It was
You know,
great
we
to be here.
gotta get
We'll get
Jessica to come
We'll get
next time.
Jessica next time.
Ooh,
Jessica, you're invited.
Jessica. We might have to bring your whole group.
Bring the group.
Oh man, that might be a little crazy. I don't know.
We'll
see.
see.
We'll figure it
All
out.
right.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Take it easy.